Good evening, everybody, and welcome to, well, let's see. It is three chicks tonight, three chicks
Yes.
and a wonderful guest.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely, three chicks.
three chicks
Woohoo!
and Marvin. How are you, Mr. Marvin?
Well, happy to be here. Thankful to be on this show. Excited about it, and ready to talk some football and whatever else.
Yay.
Awesome. Carrie and Jen, how's your week going?
Pretty good. Pretty productive. We've got
I had a massage yesterday, so the world is fine.
And I've been getting people approved for things at Super Bowl week, so yay. And as you know, we have Miss Dawn L. Richardson. Everybody be checking us out because she's repping us at Radio Row this week. She's actually covering the Pro Bowl right now. So she'll be getting us some content later on today, and I'll be uploading it to our pages.
Awesome. Mr. Marvin, tell us a little bit about you and, your career.
Okay. So obviously I started out playing football. I was a high school football player in the San Fernando Valley, LA, California. I did well at Birmingham High School. From there, went on to USC, where I was fortunate enough to play with John Robinson, head coach for 3 years, legendary head coach, Paul Hackett for a year. Played between Carson Palmer and Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn was a senior my freshman year. Carson was a freshman my senior year. We won the Rose Bowl there. And from USC, I was able to become a free agent with Mike Ditka and the New Orleans Saints. This was in 1999. This is a year where he traded all the draft picks for Ricky Williams. He brought on a bunch of free agents. I was fortunate to be one of the guys that made the squad. And from there, was traded to Green Bay, spent a little time with Brett. That was cool. And from there, went on to go to law school. Didn't finish. Ended up working in sales and marketing for years. Had my own company. And I'm now looking to get out of that and get into full-time media. I have a beautiful wife, 2 children, and excited about them and their futures as well.
And you have a little bit of lineage. You want to share that with? Because I personally thought it was pretty neat to hear your lineage. Maybe others you'd like to share with others.
Got you. So, yeah, I'm Marvin Powell III. I'm the son of Marvin Powell Jr. My father was a 2-time All-American at USC. He was an offensive tackle. He was the number 4 draft pick in 1977 to the New York Jets. He went on to 5 Pro Bowls, 4 All-Pros. He was team MVP, and he's also in the College Football Hall of Fame. This past year, he was on the senior list for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but he missed out at the 30. I think at the cut at 32. I think. But yeah, he was a phenomenal player for the Jets for 9 years, and then for 2 years with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was also the president of the Players Union, the NFLPA, and led the players into the strike in 1987, which ultimately helped them get benefits as well as free agency.
Right. He and Charlie Young really helped lead that free agency and getting it back to the players. And then they were shortchanged. But then they outmaneuvered the outmaneuver, got it back to the players again for a final straw, which is awesome. I love that they did that.
Totally remember 1987 and the strike. Sad for this chick.
Right.
But happy for the players. So I mean, there's But yes, I remember that year.
I think that's the year my dad really made sure I knew how to play.
I felt bad. I was a kid during the strike. My dad was the president, and he caught me watching scab football. He walked into my room, and he was brokenhearted that the players were on strike, so they had the replacements in there. And you don't want them. You don't want to watch the game because you want the ratings to go down to force the owners to give in into the strike. But I couldn't help myself. I had to watch my Jets. Even though I didn't know any of the players. One of the players, there was a bunch of old guys and guys who should have been there. But I was hooked, man. He laughed. It's all good.
So I have a question for you, because as we established prior to going live, huge Panthers fan. So you started playing for the Saints in 99, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So did you cross paths with Sam Mills?
Sam Mills, I want to say that I've met Sam. that I met Sam around that time, but not as a player. Really, I didn't play against him though. No.
Right. Yeah, he was. I think he was more segueing into coaching at that point with the Panthers. At that point, I may be wrong on that year.
And that's
I know he
probably
was with the Panthers. But
that's probably when I saw him because we played the Panthers twice. We beat them
Right.
out the gate for the first game. And so I'm just saying we beat them. Right, we won that game.
It's all right. We swept all the.
We still then we lost 8 straight, so don't worry about it. Nevertheless, yeah, I'm certain that I ran to Sam Mills on the field at some point between one of those 2 games, but never played against him. He's an all-time great player.
Yeah, and I was just wondering because I know like his history was he was with the Saints for a hot minute as well before he came to the Panthers. He was with some other teams too, but yeah. So sorry, I was just
he was with the Saints from 86 to 94.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, I can't remember when, so thank you.
Jenny, I'll tell you what, I did spend some time in 1999. We had 4 different starting quarterbacks, and your guy, Jake Delhomme, was with the Saints.
Yes.
Yeah, Jake. So I spent the year with Jake. Awesome kid, super genuine. He's exactly what you see on TV. Good old country boy. But yeah, I was really happy for him to see him go on and lead you guys to an NFC championship and a Super Bowl run.
Yeah, he was. And doesn't he still owns a place in Louisiana, a big old farm in Louisiana, but he still comes up and does a lot of work with the Panthers organization. And he was inducted into our Hall of
Hello?
Oh,
I think.
she got
Sorry, I
froze.
thought I heard a TV go on real loud, and I was like, wait, did I turn on the
I think Jen froze for a minute there.
She looks very intent, though. I love the way that it froze for her. Like she's looking up something a fact to verify. And, man, she looked all over the part.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay, so I have a question for you. What do you think of the trajectory that we've seen Sam Darnold in, coming from the Jets, quarterback purgatory, to the Carolina Panthers, purgatory part 2 under Matt Toole, going like then Steve Wilkes resurrecting his career and taking him with him to San Francisco, and then like from there the Vikings, and now in Seattle, and on a Super Bowl run. What do you think of that?
Well, I mean, what a testament to fortitude, mental toughness, a commitment, and just not giving up. You know, this guy was at the high of the high with the 2016 Rose Bowl against Penn State. Classic game. They scored 100 points in 4 quarters, and he led a serious charge. From there, he's drafted number 3 to the New York Jets, the worst place in the world for any young quarterback, unfortunately. And he goes there, and they bounce him out of there, and he's bouncing around the league, and you think this guy's going to be a career backup, and he gets an opportunity in Minnesota, and he just lights it up. You know, he just lights it up.
Mm-hmm.
He did it in back-to-back years. I believe it was a 2-year stint for him. But then he goes to Seattle, and now this guy's leading. He's winning the NFC Championship, and he's leading his team to the Super Bowl. I mean, what a story of a comeback. And, you know, listen, for me, it means a lot. Sam Darnold is the first USC quarterback to ever start a Super Bowl. So I'm obviously rooting for
Is he?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I did not know that. That's awesome. Thank you.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Believe me, that's my purpose.
I love that.
Okay. But yeah, he is. I mean, we've had some good pros. We have. But yeah, we've never had a guy start a Super Bowl. So this is a big deal for a lot of people in LA, a lot of people who are Sam Darnold fans. Honestly, as a former Jet, as a Trojan, again, I'm pushing hard for this guy, but this is really more of a story to me. This is a story of a guy who's really good, but goes to an organization who doesn't have a plan for him. And you see that a lot in the NFL. You do. I feel like these kids aren't bust the way that people are calling them bust. I think it's more of the organization not having a plan and not knowing how to really move to that young player and what they do. So, and he's just a testament of it. You look at Baker Mayfield, it's the same thing. You know, I mean, this guy, call it what you want. You know, he's in Tampa. This guy's a Pro Bowl quarterback. Okay, who got signed to a $100 million deal. So, again, what it tells you is maybe Cleveland and again the Panthers are the common denominator here, right? They just don't have a plan for these guys. Now with Bryce, you see something different, but yeah, with Sam, man, this is a great comeback story, and I hope he gets a huge contract. I hope these organizations do a better job of prepping for their number one picks and their top picks. And I hope that we can get back to real quarterback development and not bouncing the kid because he's not like Pat Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, who in year 2 and 3 were already Super Bowl MVP and league MVP. That's not everybody. Those guys are special. Those guys are different. You know, we have to get back to the idea of developing these quarterbacks. So this shows you honestly the failure of coaching in many areas, but it shows you strength of and the real talent of this kid. So I'm proud of him. I'm looking forward to seeing this game.
But see, I think that Patrick Mahomes is where the organization was set up and prepared to, one, set him behind Alex Smith, and two, they had a plan and course already kind of mapped out. I think that's why his success went so well, is because I feel like the organization set him up for success by setting him for a year. I feel like that's, I think about that with Candy's Jordan Love. I think that, I really do think that's important, and we don't see that very often anymore.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, we said that first here on the show. I believe it was actually Carrie or Candy. One of you ladies said it. Whereas they needed set the quarterbacks like they did with Brett Favre, going back to Brett Favre with the Green Bay Packers. They sat him. Tom Brady sat. Patrick sat. Everybody kind of sat. Cam was an anomaly where he didn't need to really sit behind a quarterback before going into the NFL, but he was an anomaly. But Patrick needed that too. But then Tom Brady took it, what we said, because we know Tom watches our show even on the DL, and then he made it, international headway.
Well, I mean, sometimes we have to have a little bit of help from people that deflate things to get noticed. It's okay. That was an inside thought. Sorry.
That's funny.
It escaped again.
And sorry I interrupted you, Marvin. I apologize.
My bad.
No. It's we're good. I think I finished.
I actually picked up Sam Darnold and said they were going to the Super Bowl. I think that was week 14 that I decided he was going to be representing the NFC there. And I picked him. I picked my Cinderella team, and that's who's going to go, because there's truly supposed to be in a rebuild year. Everybody was gone, right? Everybody that was having any kind of success was gone. And so I love the story of that team at the moment.
Yeah, it's awesome. Young head coach, small market, quarterback who's bounced around. You got to love that, man. Again, I think up there they have team culture. They have real culture up there, real fan base, solid fan base. That matters. The energy of that 12th man is a very real thing, I believe. And, I think when you're aligned from owner to GM to head coach to quarterback, it's just a winning situation, man. When everybody's thinking team and you're dealing with leadership at a great level of leadership at every level, it's a good deal. You look at the Chiefs in the same situation as you mentioned. So, I think the bigger thing here, like I said, is just, Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, these guys just coming on so fast. And you see Pat Mahomes go to 7 straight AFC championship games, and Lamar, is winning MVPs early in his career. That becomes the standard or the expectation. And when a guy isn't giving you that, it's his fault. It's the quarterback's fault. You got to change the quarterback. So now this guy's out of town. And, even Kirk Cousins is a guy who I think, his situation is a little bit different, but he's had success, pretty much everywhere he's been to some degree. But no, this is a great story. This is a great Super Bowl run, and I'm looking for them to finish this off against a very good Patriots team, a very well coached Patriots team. But as a Jet fan, as a guy who is in the AFC East with this team, I have no love for them or anything Boston. Period.
Well, okay, I do like Vrabel, and I do like Drake May, and I can't. That might be the total extent of the people that I really do like on that team. I enjoy watching others play, but it is not in my DNA to root for anybody in AFC but my team.
What about the Denver Broncos?
Who? The Ponies? No, my little ponies do not get my ring. I was really trying to get. both Bills and Broncos to lose at that game, so that was a challenge.
Well, now, one thing I have to say is there is a Patriot that I really like, and that's the kicker, Andy Borregales. He kicked for the University of Miami, and this is his first year in the league. And we've interviewed him, and we have interviews on our channel. He is one of the nicest guys. So I'm really rooting for him.
Well, that's why I like Drake May, because of Jen's interaction with him. And
he's been awesome, honestly. Like, he's so respectful, so nice. He never even took my bait when I would make a joke about Carolina's biggest rival. And so, like, I mean, just, you know, yeah, like, so I'm torn because I want to see Sam do so well, but I'm also rooting for Drake, and I can't have two quarterbacks win the Super Bowl.
So. I just like that when Mike moved into, followed in after Pete Carroll, it was, everyone just kind of was shocked when he wanted a blank slate, and he painted all the walls and redid the inside. And so it was all, even myself, I was like, ooh, why would you take away what
to
your
start
history
a new culture
is? But my goodness, what a turnaround. And I am impressed. I really am.
So Marvin, what are your thoughts on both Belichick, and I'd like everybody's thoughts on this, Belichick and Kraft not being first ballot Hall of Famers coach and owner?
Yeah, I think it is absolutely horrendous that Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft are not first ballot Hall of Famers. I think this is some football traditionalists who are voters letting you know that they don't appreciate the scandals, that those scandals matter. They had impact, and they think that maybe it impacted the games, and I understand all that. But the bottom line is they were penalized for that, and they allowed them to go on and keep coaching and owning teams. And, it was treated almost like a minor offense, in my opinion. So if that's the
especially
case,
Spygate, it cost me a Super Bowl. Like, literally, it cost me a Super Bowl.
Listen, it's my thing is this: if Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, then who is? Especially as
right.
A coach, okay, and the same for Robert Kraft. So, these are some old men, in my opinion, who are just bitter about probably what are facts, okay, and just want to let it be known. I don't think it's possible to keep them out of the Hall of Fame, but I think this is just letting them know that people feel some kind of way about what happened back in the day. Yeah.
So I know that the Kansas City, the person representing Kansas City on the voting said that he was the first person that came out and said, hey, I didn't vote for them, but I was also voting for those that were on the last chance to get in. So, and he goes, I think that we can't let history go without including some of these people that were not making it in. So I see where he's standing, and I think that that's something that needs to be addressed. But that guy got eviscerated on TV. They're like, well, he's just bitter because no. I mean, maybe, but also if he's voting for people that this is their last chance, knowing that, those, especially Bill, he's got more options. I mean, it's one of those things. It's how do you rectify that?
You're bringing human beings into the voting process. So with the human element, we talk about emotions and feelings, and people should be objective and be professional. But again, they're also human beings. Okay. And again, this is what we're seeing. People are emotional and feel some kind of way, because in what world would a 6-time champion head coach not get in the first ballot? In what world would Robert Kraft, who is the owner of a team who had one of the greatest sports dynasties of all time, doesn't get into the Hall of Fame as an owner? So that's the bottom line. People are emotional, feel some kind of way, and as long as we're dealing with human beings, we got to expect things to be wishy-washy sometimes. That's just what it is. That's what we're seeing, and it shouldn't be this way, but it is.
Exactly.
Human is all. When you have humans involved in a process, it'll always have some kind of emotional attachment one way or the other.
That's my
point. I was the same person at ACC kickoff this past year, laughing at everyone, literally laughing, Marvin, because I was laughing at all the media. all the big boys who are standing down the aisle, not down the aisle, but down the row with the hill, just waiting for Bill Belichick to make his entrance. I'm just dying laughing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this man puts his pants on one leg at a time too. It's his first year. He's scrapping the whole team. He's rebuilding. It's not going to be that great. Like, come on. But Candy, I'm sorry. Marvin's your guest, and we totally overtalked you the entire night, except for like talking about Mike, your kicker. So
no,
I'm sorry.
We're all talking, and it's a conversation, and that's what it's all about. Do I think Bill should have gotten in first ballot? Yes. We can't deny the history that they have. You can't take away that. You don't take away their Super Bowls. You don't do that. And yes, there are a lot of people that say, "Oh, it wasn't Bill. It's because of Tom." Well, they were both part of that team, part of that franchise when they won the Super Bowl, and they had such an impression on the NFL for how many years that I think you have to put them in. Like, not putting them in is just wrong, in my opinion. And maybe yes, they need to change how they vote. If they're taking, a one vote away from somebody that it's his last ballot, but so maybe they need to rethink some of that, the voting process as well.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Conversation around Bill not getting in, and that was before Kraft even surfaced, was if they're going to do this to Bill, what's the likelihood that it'll happen to Tom?
I think that's a little bit different.
But here, I'm going to say it.
They penalized Tom for Spygate with Deflategate.
Tom deserves to be in there, but he also deserves to help to carry the weight of what Bill and Kraft are facing as well. So, how does that balance out?
I think the difference is that with Deflategate, one of the things that you never heard about is the fact that every quarterback, kicker, and punter has a preference of the ball and how they like the ball. The idea that none of them do anything to adjust the ball just a little bit is crazy. Of course, they have preferences. That starts when you're in middle school. You like the ball a certain way, you know? So I think Deflategate was a little overblown. Spygate's a different situation. Time, you don't think that the player has anything to do with the Spygate. Deflategate maybe so. And, I think that's judged differently. And I think considering what Tom did in Tampa, again, you look at that just differently. Tom, without question, is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
So my point is that Tom paid the penalty for Spygate with Deflategate, in my opinion. So I don't think that should be held against him when it comes to Hall of Fame. And yes, because he did go and do it in Tampa Bay. Now, he was also the unofficial head coach of the Bucs too, and general manager.
And they played in the home stadium, and they were there all week. They were in their home territory, and the Chiefs got there 2 days before. There's lots of things. The Chiefs showed up and pooped the bed, and that's we had our own little fiasco happening in Kansas City at the same time. So that whole weekend was snake bit, but for the Kansas City side, but. Anyway, I'm not a fan of Tom. If you had not picked up on that, Marvin, he likes himself enough to cover my lack of liking him. So it's all good. He covers my part for me.
Carrie, the biggest issue you guys had in that game is that you guys lost both of your starting tackles.
Absolutely. We were on third and fourth, fifth string.
Man, the minute that I heard that your second tackle was out, I was like, it's a wrap. They're done.
Yeah.
You can't play against that.
And one of your coaches.
Yeah,
the week before. Yeah, but
no, that was the Friday before they boarded and went to. Yeah, that was Thursday night before they boarded Friday. Yep, sure was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, Brady should be first ballot, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. I listen. Honestly, again, Carrie, I'm a Jet fan, but I have to be objective. This dude is real. Okay.
I said earlier with my green face and trying not to throw up, he definitely belongs in there. But that did bring up it was an interesting thought process that I was watching unravel on TV when they were saying well, if this has happened to Bill, does it happen to Tom too? Because they were both on the same team, the same reasons. And I'm like,
First of all, I do think Tom knew about Spygate, but I do get sick of hearing that everybody cheats. Because first of all, I was and it makes me mad too, especially when my father will say it, because he was a very strong athlete of his own. However, because I'm like, Dad, that's not how you raised me as an athlete. You raised me with the utmost integrity. So I get upset when I hear that, because I'm like, no.
It's okay. The Chiefs have bought the reps this year. Our check bounce is all.
I'm sorry. I expect the Chiefs to be wrapped up in Spygate soon.
My pocketbook was really well gouged during our dominance. So, I had to save up a little bit of money, and we'll be back.
So Marvin,
yeah.
Twofold question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite play that you created on the field in college and in the NFL? Or your most memorable?
Yeah, definitely. Probably my first and only touchdown. It was my sophomore season. We were playing at Illinois, and I had a 13-yard touchdown play that ABC used as part of their promo for like the next 3 or 4 years. So I thought that was cool. So every time you watch football in college, on ABC college football, you saw my touchdown. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then in the NFL, probably my first play ever was at Giant Stadium, which was great because it was the same stadium my dad played in. I was on the practice squad for the first 6 weeks because I went into the season with a cast on my arm. And then in the first game I was activated was against the New York Giants. So it was cool playing in the same stadium as my dad. And then my first play, they gave me the ball up the middle and for a 1-yard gain, which was my entire career rushing total. That one carry for 1 yard, but it's more than Marfar Jr. Nevertheless, probably that. But listen, I like to say that I had a pretty nice game against the 49ers when they came down my rookie season. Ken Norton Jr., former Dallas Cowboy middle linebacker, was their middle linebacker, and I watched him as a kid, and we went at it pretty good that whole game. So that was pretty special to me as well. But yeah, But yeah, a lot of moments that I was able to capture really from a brief career.
Yeah, I love that. And that's always one of my favorite questions to ask everybody who's played. Because you always have that moment, just as an athlete, you have that moment.
Yeah, definitely. At USC, when I was there, we didn't win as many games as I would want to, but I played with some really good football players, with some legends. For me, playing at SC probably meant more than playing in the NFL, as crazy as that is, but it meant so much to me to be a Trojan, and playing in the rivalries against UCLA and Notre Dame were great. A lot of very special moments, just, big games, a lot of great players. And then in the NFL, I had an opportunity to play with some amazing players, amazing talent, amazing personalities, legendary coaches led by Mike Ditka. And, just really thankful for my time in that football world. And now just so happy to talk about it, especially with you ladies.
I'm a little jealous of what you have been able to see and be a part of that I would never be able to have the experience. But man, I was just in here thinking, what a testimony, as you were saying, how much you appreciate where and who you've played with, to be seen shoulder to shoulder with some of these absolute giants, in the sport, both in college and pro. So, wow.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I was a kid watching Deion Sanders, and then I was playing against him. I was a kid watching Dan Marino, and I was playing against him. So these are like really crazy moments when you go out there and you play against some of your idols, your childhood idols for real. When that ball snapped, There's no love, believe me. But it's still a surreal moment to see legends that I was watching when I was in the 5th grade, watching these dudes playing NFL. And now we out here together. Wild.
So Dan Marino and Frank Reich were the first 2 quarterbacks I ever saw play live.
Right.
And my dad, because my dad's been a season ticket holder and a PSL holder for the Carolina Panthers since inception.
Right.
And
Okay.
my first game was 96. Frank was our starting quarterback in 95, but he was starting that game against the Dolphins for whatever reason when I was playing, my first game that I went to.
Mhm.
And my dad looked at me, and I'd come home from college just to go to the game with Dad, and he looked at me. He was like, "Just look, you don't even see the ball leave Dan's hands."
Yeah. That's real.
And I remember that so vividly, just how awesome. And my dad's not one to get awestruck, but just how awestruck he was by that. And I was like, okay, we need to see if we can't get him on the show.
Yeah. Definitely.
Marvin, we're gonna let you pull your strings for us, okay?
Let's see what we could do. I'll see if I can reach him through the PA. But listen, Marino, my dad played against Marino, and I played against Marino. So that was,
That's
weird.
epic.
That's a weird situation, right? But I loved it though. So, but Marino was the man. He was the man. Yeah.
Oh, I have a buddy I think you would love to meet and talk to. His name's Terry Spain. He's in Florida, and I think you would love to I'll see if I can hook you guys up to chat.
Let's do
So
it.
I hate to be the one that points out the time, but
you two probably have another show.
Well, we do know that Candy and Marvin have. Candy, can you tell as our happy ending here a little bit about your weekend? I know we're not going to be able to give enough time, but share with our audience what you got to do this last week, because that's pretty special itself.
So this last week we got to go to the Senior Bowl, and for people that don't know what the Senior Bowl is the seniors in college that are looking to get into the draft and are doing really well get an invitation, and it's the first invite that goes out before the draft. So it's the Senior Bowl, it's the East-West Shrine Bowl, it's the NFL Combine, it's Pro Day, and then it's Draft Day. And so these are all seniors that are trying to get drafted and get on an NFL roster. It was a great week. They had practices Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. After each team practices. So they split all the college seniors into 2 teams. And after each practice, there was 10 minutes of media day. So the media ran down onto the field and could talk to as many players as they could get in that 10-minute. And they literally were shooing you off the field after that 10 minutes. So we got a bunch of little interviews. It was great. It was cool to see all these different seniors from all different schools and, backgrounds. There was a USC Trojan there. There was a guy from Wisconsin. There was James Madison, North Dakota State, just a whole bunch of different. And then they actually play a game on Saturday. I will say the one thing that I feel really bad for is there was a Penn State player that in practice actually broke his foot.
Oh no!
I can't imagine what that means for him and trying to get into the NFL now and stuff like that. So I feel really bad for him, but it was a really awesome experience. We got to meet some great people. We got to talk to a longtime writer. We talked to a broadcaster that does sports broadcasting. He's graduated out of Penn State, now is in Yuma, Arizona, and he's been a sportscaster for 1 year. We got to talk to him. And so if you want to go over to the South Florida Tribune YouTube, there's a bunch of those videos up there. So it was really great. It was cool. I think it's going to be an annual event on our list. It was that neat.
Awesome.
I mean, part of it is you cover the NFL and you don't get the same kind of coverage. You don't get the same, you can't talk to the players, whereas we were down on the field and then they had a media day. And I'll even say this, there's an interview up on the site where I actually asked a couple of questions and Scott. So it's not just my husband all the time. So, but yes, so it was really cool. And then we actually had one of the moms come up to us and ask us about us interviewing her son on the field. And that was just a really cool feeling. So But yes,
Aww.
thank you. That was our feel good story. Definitely. Could have
Bad
been a
for
little
you.
bit warmer, you know, but everybody had the Arctic blast. So
Yes,
It's
it's
so cold
coming
here.
back, and I really would like for someone to come take it away again.
Mm.
I've had my
Does-
trial of snow, and I'm okay for the year, and we can move on to spring.
Yeah.
I
Y'all
gotcha.
quit complaining. I'm happy we have snow.
well,
I'll be sure to send mine to you very quickly.
Okay.
I can tell you it's 62 degrees here now, so I'm not going to complain.
My toes are cold. I'm sitting here with shoes and socks on, and my toes are cold. That's why I don't like winter.
So Marvin, how can people find you? How can they?
Yeah, I'm Marvin Powell III on the internet, social media. Handle is Marvin on the mic. You can catch me 5 days a week with the South Florida Tribune. You can catch me twice a week with Locked On USC.
Awesome.
Love it.
Well, we
Well,
want to
Marvin, please come back on. We
Yes.
would love to have you back.
Okay, we could definitely.
We got
work
more
that
to pick. We got more questions for you. We're always inquisitive. So,
out. We could work it out.
all right.
Well, with that,
Thank
everybody,
you, Marvin. Everybody
thank you,
have
Marvin,
a
for
great night.
coming on.
Thank you.
And we hope everybody enjoys the Super Bowl this week. Commercials, halftime, and the game. Let's hope it's a really good game. That's what I hope
Absolutely.
And I'm not jealous at all that I'm not there this year. No, not at all.
for.
No, I'm not either. Not at all. Not jealous that this was going to be my first one.
We're going next year. Marvin, you're coming too.
Hey, listen, shoot me that ticket. I'm ready to roll.
Sounds like a plan. With that, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next week. Same time, same channel.
Thank you.